Let me know your thoughts on Jake going 6 rounds with AJ.
You know, the fact that he did
Lennox Lewis saw this disaster brewing from miles away. When the lights went up in Miami, his gut feeling became reality. This wasn't an influencer sideshow anymore. It turned into a masterclass on what happens when social media stardom collides with legitimate heavyweight power. The world asked if Jake Paul's rebellious attitude could survive the crushing force of a former undisputed king. By round 6, the outcome wasn't just clear, it was brutal. This wasn't shocking. It was the total demolition of a content creator facing his limit.
Joshua versus Jake Paul. What do you think when I heard about the fight? I said, they're going to actually fight? I didn't believe it. But what we got to do is say, Jake Paul really bit off a lot this time. He's serious. He wants to go up against a true heavyweight, and that's Anthony Joshua. So he's up against a heavyweight. How is he gonna adopt? How is he gonna feel? How is he gonna fight when he gets in there? I don't see him fighting. I see him looking to survive in the fight. He's gonna feel the uppercut. He's gonna feel the jab. He's gonna feel the right hand. How's he gonna react? I don't know. We're gonna have to see.
From the start, Lewis couldn't believe this matchup existed. He spoke his mind from day one, calling Joshua a Formula One machine and Jake Paul something you drive to the grocery store. His prediction was blunt. The moment AJ's devastating power landed, Jake would go from competitor to someone desperately clinging to consciousness. Lewis was convinced the young challenger had overestimated himself. His analysis of when it all fell apart is every bit as savage as the knockout itself.
I'm not wanting not to fight Anthony Joshua. I should have listened to my mom. My dad pushed me to this. Now I'm around in the hospital. Got to eat liquid now. Anthony.
Everyone talked about Joshua's 15-month break before fight night. Critics worried about ring rust. In the opening rounds, AJ looked cautious, almost too careful as he worked to find his rhythm against a smaller, fidgety target. But Lewis saw through it. This wasn't rust, it was strategy. Joshua was clearing the mental fog, using one of the world's biggest streaming stars as warm-up before delivering the real work.
Fight. We're licensed to kill. I'm sure many people don't understand it, but this is what my job is. And I just enjoy what I do. Whatever happens, happens. As long as my hand's raised, that's what's important, right? Respectfully. That's just the mentality we have to have as fighters. I don't know if any other fighter thinks that way. Maybe they're a bit more tame. But the things I watch and the way my mind works, when you're in that ring, it's a dangerous place to be and anything can happen. And you hope your opponent leaves the ring safely, but if they don't, you know, you still have to go to bed that night knowing that you just done your job. It wasn't.
Jake's game plan was obvious from the bell. Run the marathon. He spent the first 3 rounds circling the outside, dodging, taunting, and trying to annoy Joshua while avoiding the right hand. Early on, he looked good, slick, slippery, visually impressive, but Lewis knew the truth. Constant movement in a heavyweight fight drains stamina fast, especially when you aren't accustomed to this pace.
Guys from round 1. Jake was very mobile. I mean, he had the happy feet going. He was circling around the outside of the ring. He was not looking to engage in elongated combinations. He was not looking to stand in the center of the ring with AJ. And people are going to say Jake ran from AJ. And you're right. Because guess why? He absolutely had to. Again, talked about this in the build-up to the fight. He had to be mobile. He had to be on his bike. So yes, you're justified in saying Jake ran from him because he had to. He had to. And anybody that convinced themselves that Jake was going to walk to the center of the ring, stand in the phone booth with AJ and trade punches until someone laid flat, you were lying to yourself, or you convinced yourself of something you saw in the promo. This was always going to be the way the fight went. I wasn't surprised at all that this is the way that Jake started and pretty much fought the entire time. I was a bit surprised that AJ didn't assert himself earlier. Now, again, it is very hard to hurt someone that doesn't want to engage in a continuous fight. Round 1, very much a feeling out process for AJ. Didn't really look like he did much, but Jake didn't either. There was one right hand that AJ landed in the first round that shook Jake up. That's the danger that was coming for Jake.
Round 5 marked the turning point. Jake had nowhere left to run. Even the referee grew frustrated, pushing the fight to action. That's when heavyweight reality struck. A crushing left hook buckled Jake's knees. By round 6, barely 90 seconds in, the thunderous straight right sent him crashing to the canvas. His trash talk ended, his bravado vanished, and the referee called it. The damage was severe.
You saw AJ come alive. He saw a wounded animal and finally went in for the kill. And let me tell you something. Jake took some fucking hard KO punches in this fight. The first one in the first round, he got hit with a shovel hook from the left side. He got hit with an uppercut at one point. It's a heavyweight fight. I'm not going to congratulate Jake for, getting beat up, but I am going to congratulate his heart for being able to take those punches and not quit on himself, at least to the point of being like, I'm just going to stay on the ground here and call it an evening. He didn't do that. He got up multiple times. He got dropped multiple times. Again, kind of the clinch weird thing, but he would get hit with a punch and, look to clinch at AJ and just kind of fall by the wayside. That happened twice in the 5th round. And then in the 6th, the levee broke. He finally got Jake into the corner, threw a flurry, and then came across when AJ was like going around the side with the right hand and trying to chop over the top, and then, big looping shots that he was missing early on because Jake was moving his head and doing some good things defensively. Fair play to him. He was protecting himself very well early on. In the 6th round, his gas tank was done. The legs were not there. He had already been hurt a bunch from AJ, and AJ went to the body with the jab and chopped a right hand over, and it hit Jake, and he snapped his head, collapsed to the canvas. That's it, and that's all. It was so devastating that Jake turned around and looked into the crowd and went, oh, fuck, that's the realization. That is.
Jake tried to hide it during his post-fight interview, but blood poured into the towel. Later, scans confirmed a double jaw fracture. The Florida Athletic Commission immediately issued a 2-month medical suspension. You can hype yourself up all you want, but surviving a heavyweight's power isn't something you can fake. The financial fallout was immediate. Reports suggested Drake had placed around $100,000 on a miracle upset.
With the direction he's been going in is he puts on big fights, but not competitive fights. Fighting Chavez Jr., that was an easy win. Nate Diaz, an easy win. Mike Tyson, an easy win. Anthony Joshua, not competitive for the opposite reason. He's completely not expected to win, and it wasn't competitive. He stacks the chips too heavily either way, and because of that, we never actually get to find out how good Jake is. And part of that, I think, is maybe deliberate, because then we never know and the storyline can go anywhere. And while you don't know really how good he is, there's always another dream to sell, and it's almost genius level promoting. It really is. But for his own sake, you're getting into your late 20s now, your physical prime. You're only going to ever find out how good you really are by getting in there with people who are of the level that you claim you're at the right weight class. You are not a cruiserweight. You've got a layer of, body fat on you. You can't be doing that in boxing. If you're a serious boxer, you don't get in there looking like Jake Paul looks. You look shredded. And that's why really he's a light heavyweight. But fuck it. If you want to be cruiserweight, be a cruiserweight. Regardless, just fight people who are now ranked, and let's find out where the fuck he is. Because surely, these money grab Tyson fight, the AJ fight, he's packed that bank chock full. And credit to him. Even if he has hustled people or whatever the fuck, credit to him. One of the best promoters in boxing history, actually. I really do believe that. Because even when fights seem ridiculous, he always gets people to tune in. And he's done great things with Netflix. And hopefully that opens doors up for other boxers, and he certainly opened a lot of doors up for female boxers. So again, credit to him for that. But let's find out how good you really are now. Because I just don't want any more gimmicks.
Which could have earned over $1.6 million. Instead, that money disappeared the moment Jake hit the canvas. So what's next? Will Jake Paul step back in the ring, or did this beating close the door on his boxing dreams? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash like, subscribe, and ring the bell to catch every Boxing Headquarters upload. Stay tuned, the story isn't over yet.